So everyone, even before I get into this video, I want to take a quick moment to share with you that I had a wonderful experience visiting my friend Cathleen from Cause Creations. I'll link her above. And the fact that she has given my mystical creature a home in her new home in Wilmington. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. What a delight she is. Just so refreshing, so fun to be with. And I just wanted to share this moment before I get into the video. Hi everyone, it's Louise with louisemckayart, and welcome to my channel. Today, as you can see, I'm going to be doing a Lazy Susan here. And yeah, we're going to talk through this a little bit. Just wanted to tell you that this is one of the 15 inchers from IKEA. Hoping for the best here. I've got the back taped off like I normally do. And I've got it so that the Lazy Susan itself does not spin. My spinning action is going to come from the spinner itself. The spinner is from Jessica Winterstrom from Winterstrom Art. I got it as a bonus last year when I went to the Fluidart experience as a helper. And as she was breaking down, she gave me this spinner, which is really, really good. So if you need a flat spinner, it's good for canvases, and as you can see, it's good for Lazy Susans. So, what I've got here are 6 colors today. Normally I only work with 5 or less, and this is not a tried palette, so I'm just kind of going flying rogue here. And what I have over here is my pillow paint. This is my Glidden 6011N. This is the paint that I'll lay down first, and then I'll lay my other colors on top of it, as you'll see, and the colors and the composition will float as I spin the Lazy Susan here, spin the spinner. I'm going to go on fast forward as I lay down the pillow here. Everything will start to spread out. As you'll see, I don't completely flood the Lazy Susan because I'd rather let the spinner take care of that. Just giving it a little stretch out. Also checking my center and checking the pillow. Well, I always have something. Oh, that's just an air bubble. It's very good to have a toothpick on hand for multiple things. For popping air bubbles, for checking the depth at the end, as you will see. Okay, so let me see how it's stretching out still. Even after that little spin. All right, we're going to start out here. This is my TLPC glass with some Master's Touch Ocean Green. I'm only going to put a little bit in the middle. We'll see how this evolves. Got to find the middle. This is a very neutral palette, very neutral, lots of heavy on the blues. So we'll go with that in the middle. We'll go with a little more. I haven't painted in the last couple days, so I tend to start light. So if I'm making a coaster set, my first set of coasters tends to always be on the, I call them the albino. This here is a simple one. It's Amsterdam's Sky Blue Light. All of my paints are mixed with my pouring medium, which is this Valspar 833124 at a rate of about 3:1 with my MinWax semi-gloss. Sorry about that. I spotted something in there. When your paints have sat around for about a week like this one has, they tend to get a little bit ornery. This is Golden's Cerulean Blue Deep, and I haven't had this color in a while, and this is a gorgeous color. I cracked open the bottle today. I bought it off of Jerry's Artorama. They had a 40% off all golden fluid acrylics. I was like, oh my God. So I don't need any paints, but I ended up spending almost $200. Yeah, I'm crazy. This is my iridescent Silver by Golden. Nothing flashy about this palette. Nothing flashy. Hopefully just really, just pretty. It's got to be on somebody's dining room table. Okay, this is Treasure Gold's Blue Quartz. Look at this. Just beautiful. Sometimes I have colors over here. Well, I have a lot of colors. I inherited a lot of colors. And I just forget that I have these colors. And then I pull them out and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not use this before? Let's give a little more of that. These aren't spreading out very much. It's interesting. Sometimes the color combinations will really spread. Sometimes they don't. Payne's Gray by Golden. And I love this Payne's Gray because it's a lot blue, as you can see. It's very on the blue side. Very rich, deep blue. Smoky kind of. All right, and then I've got my cell activator. Move these guys over. My American. So let me just explain what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put down my cell activator. I have my Berta, which is a 1,000-watt little hair dryer, blow dryer with a cool setting. I'll have it on cool and high. I'll blow it out. After I put down my cell activator, which is American Floetrol cell activator, I have a video 141 if you want to see my recipe and how I make it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to get on my little step stool without dropping everything on the floor behind it. And I'm going to blow it out from here. So let's get the cell activator down first. That's the white. Might be a little much. The black. Here we go. I'm going to blow it out first with my mouth a little bit. So I find blowing it out with my mouth to start with helps to spread the cell activator and get the paint starting to move before I hit it with the blow dryer. So as I close in the blow dryer, I'm aiming it right toward where the cell activator meets the paint. So what I'm trying to do is catch that cell activator and push that cell activator and the paints out all at the same time. And a little wiggle of the wrist on the hairdryer also helps as well, but you can see I close in on it and then push it out. I close in on the paint and then have the hairdryer push it out along the way. I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but I'm just catching the paint and letting the hairdryer push it out. I do this all the way around until I have the composition pretty much blown out, and careful never to overblow because you don't want to catch the pillow paint in the blowout. So that's all I do for the blowout with the hairdryer. Stop right there. I reached the edge of my pillow here. Okay. Now, let me add a little more pillow paint going around. Let me start here because I don't want that to run off. This is probably going to lose it anyway, but... So what I want to do here is add some pillow so that the composition has a place to flow to, and I'm going to stretch it out to the edge before I even get ready to spin. But just adding some pillow paint here so that composition has a place to flow onto. Otherwise, when I get ready to spin it, all the composition will roll over itself and I'll lose all the shape. I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this part. And I'm going to stretch this out a little bit with a palette knife to pull it to the sides, break up the surface tension, get it toward the edge. So as I get ready to spin, it kind of knows where it's supposed to go. You see me doing this on my coasters. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'll fast forward through this for sure. This is tedious. Maybe I'll have negative space since it didn't blow out very far. And I always hesitate to blow it out too far on the blowout because I tend to hit the pillow. And this one looks really good. Let's maybe adjust it this way, just a hair. Now the weight of the paint is over here, as you can see. It really shifts things around a little bit. So let's give it a gentle spin. And what I have here is my scrap paint. Any extra paint that falls off of there, I will put into the scrap tub. And I use my scrap paint for my ornaments. Still need to go this way. All right, gentle spin. I'm actually pretty centered. And it'll take a second for it to start to kick in as far as the spread out, but then all of a sudden it's just going to start spilling over. A little more spin. Always start gentle to see, make sure that you're centered, make sure that everything's flowing out. I want everything to flow out as uniformly as possible. We'll just keep going with that. Looks like this side's going faster. So that side's going a little faster. I'm going to pull it this way just a hair. So now you see it's a little bit lopsided. That's just to balance out the stretch out. So I want to add here, I do keep a lot of the initial spinning in because I do a lot of explanation, but as we go through the video, I'm going to cut out some of the spinning. Need to go this way a little bit. It's going pretty good though. It's pretty good, pretty good. After this, I'm going to be resining a charcuterie board, a couple yo-yos, and a few coasters. So there is no end. And I like to, if I'm going to paint that day, I'd like to get, and I'm going to resin, I'd like to get the painting out of the way, let it sit. So then when I go to resin, you know, I can close up the room and not breathe it in. Here I'm just making sure I got all the sides covered. The sides look good, except for right here. I need to get a little more paint on there. This is where I'm making sure all the sides are covered so I then can go into the final stretch out. Trying to get that to overlap and go over the edge so it just flows as this spins out. And then any extra, I will recycle. And when you get some white spots, you can pull them out now, which I like to pull them out as it's developing, if I can. And what I do for that, show you real quick, I just kiss it with my toothpick. Just kiss it. So what I did to this lazysusan is I had sprayed it with Zinsser. I forgot to mention this. I sprayed it with a Zinsser, top and sides, primer. Let's see how we're doing in the middle. All right, we need to keep spinning. I should have showed you guys. I'm going to skip ahead here. I think it looks pretty good. Except for a couple spots, I'll get them. it's getting chilly. There's that little green peeking through in the middle now. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? The more you stretch it, the more it's going to spread, and the more the colors from the center will start to open and unfold. I'll run my finger along the bottom. Just clean it up. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to go and fast forward through this as I clean up the bottom here. The nice thing about this Glidden compared to the Multi-Pro that I've used is that it's not as tacky, which means it doesn't like spring back. And I like to pull it out, straight out. Otherwise you'll have like a smear mark at the bottom of your piece. So I like to pull it straight out as much as possible. And you want to clean your bottom because you want the paint to stop pulling off the sides. Because even though I'm not spinning anymore, there's still some force that's pushing it out until it settles down. Okay, let's check the middle again. You definitely want to make sure you get as much paint off of any creation to make sure you don't have any cracking. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. So I think I'm going to call this a wrap. I love it when I pop a bubble and underneath is color. That's not that time. So I think I'm going to call that wrapped, and I will get you down for an overview and put this to bed, and I'll wait probably at least 10 days, if not 2 weeks, to start resining this. All right, everybody, that's all I've got for now. I'll be back. So this is an impromptu add-on for tape removal, and I've already lifted some of the tape away from the sides, as you can see where I'm pointing out here. And a heat gun is very important. I have a little Wagner I got from Home Depot, like $30. And all you do is you heat up the edge of the tape, not getting too close, but you just want to heat up sections at a time just to get the resin a lot more pliable. And then I have my X-Acto blade there, and I just go right around the edge, holding it flat to the bottom of the lazysusan, and I just trim the tape and the resin away from the bottom of the lazysusan. It's just like that, easy peasy. For me, I like to go in small sections, and then if I hit a place that's got a little bit of a snag where my X-Acto is not going to go through it very easily, like right there, I tend to go back in and give it a little bit of heat just to help it get on its way. So that's all there is to it. And then once I get done with this, I'll do a little light sanding along the edge where the resin meets the lazysusan, and then I'll add a couple coats of varnish just to smooth it over and seal the edge. The tape is what I put on the very beginning so that when I spin my lazysusan, I'm spinning from the spinner and not the lazysusan itself. Then I give the entire lazysusan on the edge there a nice check out by feeling it with my fingers to see if there's any rough edges. Then I'll look it over really carefully with my eyes to see if there's any imperfections. But that's all I do, and just wanted to show you that part of this process. So after my light sanding and varnish, I will then brand the back, and I have a video tutorial. It's video 487. I will link it above if you want to see how I brand these pieces. So everyone, that brings me to the end of this tutorial. Here are the resin results, and I want to point out that I do have a video 312. I will link it above. That is a full creation tutorial if you want to see more. And just so you know, I do use KS resin. I have a 10% discount listed in my description if you want to use that to try some of the KS resin that I use, which is liquid stone, UV resistant. And also, speaking of description, check out my description anyway for links to some of the tutorials I have and also links to some of the products. I ask if you're new here, please consider joining me by subscribing, hitting the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials. And I ask if you enjoyed this, please leave a thumbs up. And also, if you have a comment or question, please comment on the video as well. I do get back to everyone. And I also want to point out that all of my creations are up for grabs. They're for sale. And I do have an online store. I will link it above as well if you want to take a look at some of the things I have to offer. Plus, I can always create a custom piece for you as well. So with that, I'm going to sign off for now and take care till next time.